Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I bankrupt once again by Jimmy and Jake.
Yeah, this is so unfortunate.
Well, what's going on, y'all?
And today's matchup is Jimmy versus Jake. Today's matchup is Reboot Beerus versus Shroom Salsa, which I actually was thrown off by this. I thought you guys were playing extra card Broly on camera. So I was actually kind of excited when I went over this video. I was like, oh, we haven't seen this one in a while. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, we were on camera first round for our actual match. There was a lot of complications and slowdowns and walkbacks in that match. So we decided that we would play just a real quick friendly before the second round started. You can see here, I think Jake had already laid out everything before I had even done my mulligan. So we were just trying to speed through this just to get a video to put out. But I just chose a random deck that I had still sleeved up and ready to go. And Shroom Salsa is one of those decks that I just always keep on me because it is a fun deck and it's casual enough if I don't want to be all sweaty in a match.
Yeah, I've played against this one before. When we met up on a Wednesday. I don't really. I think you brought it one time and put it on camera like shortly after it came out in the set, and ever since then you just kind of slowly tweak it, but leave it on your shelf. I think.
Yeah, it's one of those decks that when it come out, it was just overshadowed by everything else in the set and just really could not compete. Even though it can do a lot of really cool things and has like a lot of cool interactions, and it's just a really fun deck to play, it was just very underpowered compared to everything else that come out around the same time. So now that all that's kind of been neutered and it's kind of mellowed out, I think the deck actually has some competitive viability. Just because it can there's a lot of battle tricks in this. There's a lot of just like sneaky things you can pull. It's one of those decks that like once your opponent learns what you're gonna do, then they're gonna be able to play around it. But like for first time players, like Bancroft, you can attest to this. I pretty much got everything on you in that one game, where it can really sneak up on you and just douse you with damage.
Yeah.
If you let it go. But I still enjoy the deck. I think it's a deck that's worth looking into and tweaking. I feel like it's like one good support card off from being like really strong. Which I was really hoping we would get one with all of these random supports, random decks that got supported in this in the recent reveals.
Look, I'm super excited for that though, and hopefully they keep up that theme in future sets.
Yeah, I would love to have like 10 or so cards from every set just be to support older archetypes. Like that's really fun to see. Especially like for the reveals when I have zero interest in playing Spirit Bomb or Android 17 and I don't want to see a week and a half of reveals for those decks. Something a little spice things up.
So we saw during Jake's turn too, what I would agree with the right approach. He doesn't need to worry about your life right now. He'll awaken next turn just fine. So clearing out the battle card was probably the best bet.
Just want to keep pressure down in a deck that I'm not really too familiar with. I don't want to give them too many tools. And it seems like just based off of his early turns, he'd rather have cards in the warp than the drop area. So
yeah, putting cards in my drop area is pretty nice because once I'm awakened, I don't really have a good avenue to put cards there because every card I combo with just gets removed from the game unless it's placed in the Z energy or in the case of the 8 drop, it goes to the bottom of the deck. So it kind of punishes you for over comboing. So the deck kind of rides this fine line of having negates so you don't have to combo out your hand and just lose those cards for the rest of the game. While also like incentivizing you to combo 1 to 2 cards every turn just to get into your Z energy and proc your additional effects. Because if you don't know how Shroom Salsa works, the shrooms and salsas can play from the warp if you have the opposite in your combo area. Um, so it's kind of uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I don't know the exact word I'm looking for, but it is a fun and interesting mechanic. But I don't like playing against this Beerus deck because every time I see this leader, I think of like, oh, that's the old Beerus leader that I started playing this game with, and then it starts doing shit like Jake does, and it made me really upset. Because
Yeah.
that card's still good, or it's this card is good.
Yeah, being able to put something back on top of your deck in a deck where it looks like you're not limited, but like your draw power isn't really insane.
Mhm.
Seems really good just to spend my turn growing my energy, growing my hand size, and just trimming the board down a little bit.
Mhm. Also, no matter how many times you remind yourself that, oh, that card's on top of the deck, and when you draw into it, you're still upset about it.
Yep.
Um, uh, yeah, this deck wants to see a lot of different names. It doesn't want to see the same cards over and over again. You pretty much want all the cards that you're running at like 3 ofs, 4 ofs. You want those in the warp. I don't want to be seeing those in my hand constantly, which was kind of a problem here. And then you also putting those cards back into my hand, which I don't mind the Mega Gaboras going back to my hand as much, but it's just I don't want to have worry about that interaction when playing Shroom and Salsa.
And here I'm gonna block with my custom token here, kicking Kevin.
I love these tokens. They're almost as good as the tokens that Bancroft is printing for me. I'm saying that to put a fire under his ass so he actually does it. And we will sell those on our at
Huh?
aop.shop.com.
The hell
Those will
you
be
what?
available.
I gotta make a website now?
No, I've already bought the domain. If you want it, you have to pay me for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have to get paid for doing this shit one way or another.
Yeah, you guys get the once a year sushi.
I want like
It's a competitive benefits package.
yeah, but I want like will you give me like a beer or two or something?
Yeah, I can do that. So
Okay.
Jimmy, what'd you think about Jake putting Raider Rumble back into his hand and then immediately charging it afterwards?
Well, to be honest, I didn't see what he picked up, uh, and I just wasn't paying attention. And then when I seen you put the Ready to Rumble down, I was like, okay, good. Now I don't have to worry about Ready to Rumble. Now knowing that it is both picked up and placed back down, it makes. If I saw that in the actual game, I would have been a lot more scared. But as soon as I seen the Ready to Rumble come down, I was super relieved. But then he proceeded to just tap all his shit and put this dickhead on the board.
Yeah, 2 videos this week where another World Blitz has shown up pretty big on the table. It's just one of the more powerful blue cards right now, and Beerus is really good at keeping battle cards out of its drop area, especially now that it's got access to the Z energy mechanic.
Mhm.
So you've seen in this game pretty much every way I can do it. Z energy, and then paying 2 to remove the ape and drawing a couple cards, and then using the Whis to bring a battle card back to the Z energy or to the regular energy from the drop.
Hmm. Yeah, and I always forget about this card. I don't think a lot of our blue players at the shop. Uh-oh, Jake dying now.
What?
It's like he's just adjusting his chair. That's all.
Uh,
Oh, I didn't know my mic was open.
that's good. Yeah, I feel like a lot of our blue players don't utilize this card as much as they should. I don't see it often enough to keep it in my mind at all times. So there's a lot of times where I feel like I walk myself into this card, especially playing against Jake, because Jake utilizes this card really well.
It's one of those cards where it's kind of hard to maximize its value because Jake was able to play it so cheaply because he had no battle cards in his drop. And it's one of those things where normally it's cost 6 energy, which in Beerus isn't a problem. Like Beerus can get up there, and once you get there, boom, you're good to go. And also SS4 ramp can get up there just fine as well. But in a Halo Coup deck, like in a deck that cycles energy, boom, this card's getting played once turn 4 hits the board. And every other turn, it's kind of one of those things like, oh, oh yeah, you can do that. Oh, snap.
So here I'm thinking about going into the Z leader. The Z leader you have to be at 2 life for, which just feels really, really bad in this deck. It, the deck, if it does not hit, it's very slow. And it does not have the best protection options built in. So a lot of your deck has to be dedicated to a negate package, because if you do want to put yourself down at 2, that's a very dangerous place to be in, especially now with the amount of just inherent double strike champas in every deck. A lot of decks have built-in champas into the archetype. It's a weird balance. So here I do make a pretty big mistake. I combo with both of my 8-drop Shroom Salsas that I have access to at the moment. I had misread the Z leader. The Z leader can only play a 3 or less servant from the bottom of the deck, where this is an 8-drop. There's no way for me to play it. And its text does bottom deck it. So I'm like, okay, sweet. And you can see me right here. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to activate main. I have to pitch a Z energy and then play the servant. And I'm like, I guess I'm not going to do that. I just talked myself out of the actually good play. The best play there would have been just to combo the 2 cards and then play out the 8-drop from play out the 8-drop from the warp, and then I still would have been able to play the 3-drop off the bottom, because I had preloaded one, which would have been able to maximize my turn and be a little bit more energy efficient. But so here I'm just trying to recover in any way that I can with the cards that I have access to.
I am curious about Jake's situation here. Going down to 1 life with a blocker still on board, and then negating from that block, are you just trying to keep it alive as long as possible?
Yeah, I feel like the hand differential is at a place where if I do block with it, he can combo up and kill it, and it's really like my main avenue into ending the game at this point. And I've also got a lot of decent stuff in hand that I feel like I can kind of bait him into going for the kill here if I sit at a low life total and then kind of get away with, you know, just kill on the crackback after he expends all his resources.
Here, I just had to put a card that would remove itself. I was so flustered early on that when I activated Servant, I did not play my blocker Gohan. And I was like, I don't have enough defense in my hand. Like, I have to I just have to throw something out here so I can make this Gohan come onto the field. Fortunately, he had the block, and I was going to try to pressure him, make him waste something. But it was very smart to just combo the 1 Zeno, get your energy back up in case I had a follow-up play, and then still keep your big Goku around, because why wouldn't you want that card on your field?
Yeah, it's just a lot of recurrent value towards the 1 super combo to protect it.
So, Bison turn here, throw the Gohan out, just give myself a little bit of protection. Your hand is not in the greatest right now, so I was just really hoping you didn't have, like, something else to follow up with. We might see your next play here. I don't remember when that happens, but
Yeah, I think I take some time to charge here. Kind of lost on how much energy I actually have.
The most upset I've been all night. You played another one of these dickheads. And just my entire play of like putting Gohan out, I was just, oh, okay, well, I guess he's gone.
I might be forgetting this. Does he remove cards on play?
Yeah, so for each extra card in my drop area, he'll remove one of my opponent's battle cards, not ignoring barrier.
Okay. Because I think you played the first one and you didn't do anything. I couldn't remember what the catch was.
Yeah, and then the restand energy and draw card is on a limit one, so I only get to restand one of these at the end of the turn and restand one energy.
But for most blue decks, that's perfect because they have so many cards they'll just naturally restand an energy.
Yeah, here I'm just gonna go ahead and combo big and try and end the game since I got in.
And you already got triple strike. What are you doing trying to give it double strike?
No, he's only got 2 life. You don't want to overkill.
So it's got double and triple now.
The correct answer is that you just didn't call it.
Well, it can have both. It'll just take the highest.
Ah, it won't do
Yeah,
5, man. You
cool.
can't add them together. Do some fancy
Quintuple
stuff.
strike, yeah. Well, actually, it'd be multiplicative, right? So it'd be sextuple strike.
Yeah, sure. That French combo actually gives 30k combo power. So we did our combo math wrong here.
No, I'll just attack with the other one then.
Yeah. I mean that's what you do. But
yeah, I mean, like, coming up at that point, like, just to get out of the attack. Did it? I guess you couldn't get out of it. Okay. I was curious if you got out. Oh, yeah, you would have gotten out of it. Yeah, okay. I was just curious, like, does it solve anything, or are you just trying to say, look, I could do this?
yeah, well, it was partially like maybe he'll just swing with his leader and I can get one card and that'll be a super combo and I'll get the god draw off the other thing. But Jake's a better player than that, so he was just going to turn the other one sideways and say "suck turds, nerd."
Fair enough.
Which would be, which is what he would definitely do.
Yeah.
Verbatim. Yeah, I think Shroom Salsa it's a really fun deck. It's fairly strong if you don't make mistakes like me and not play cards when you should. But I think it's a contender if somebody wants to put enough time into it.
With that being said, thank you for opportunity. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below, stuff in the description. Check them out. Bye.